Hello, my name is Derek Gorman, and I'm going to talk about an aspect of a nonverbal cue. In Bridges Not Walls, John Stewart talks about nonverbal cues. One of the cues he talks about is proximity or space. Basically, everyone has their own personal space or bubble in which they feel most comfortable in. Depending on the person, the culture, and topic of the conversation, the space that person is most comfortable in varies from time to time. Anthropologist Edward Hall came up with 4 different categories for spacing among North Americans. These 4 distances are intimate distance, which is contact to 18 inches, personal distance, which is 1.5 to 4 feet, social distance, which is 4 to 12 feet, and public distance, which is 12 to 25 feet. The first distance we're going to talk about is the intimate distance. The intimate distance is contact to 18 inches. Along with contact or touch, you can smell someone from this distance, and you can also feel their body temperature from this distance. Because of all the senses that are used in this distance, it's normally reserved for someone that you feel emotionally close with. Being this close with someone and letting someone be this close with you is a sign of trust. This is saying you've let down your protective barriers and your personal space is open to them. Being forced to be this close with someone can lead to an awkward situation. Because the distance is so small and the people are emotionally close, this distance, voices are normally kept low to emphasize a closed circle attitude. The next distance is personal distance. Personal distance is 1.5 to 4 feet, and there is still maybe limited touch used. This is the most common distance in public for friends or for people that are just familiar with each other. This distance is far enough away as to not interfere with someone's personal bubble, but still close enough to have an interactive, engaging conversation with someone. The third distance is the social distance. The social distance is 4 to 12 feet, and touch is no longer important. And since touch is no longer important, eye contact is very important at the social distance. Eye contact lets you know who you're talking to and who you're being talked to. This distance is for more impersonal encounters. This is like when coworkers are talking or while people are attending a social gathering. Also, this is the likely and best distance when having a formal meeting with a boss or with a subordinate. This is also the distance that is used for a salesperson to customer relationship. It's close enough to say, hey, I'm here if you need me, but still far enough away to not seem pushy. The final distance is the public distance. The public distance is 12 to 25 feet. Because there's so much space for this distance, your voice needs to be loud and clear at all times. And since eyesight and touch are not used, along with your voice needing to be loud, your facial expressions and hand movements need to be very exaggerated because these are the next important thing now. At the closer range, this is used by instructors and managers for addressing work groups. The farthest extent of this range is used for public speeches. We have now talked about one of the nonverbal cues from Bridges Not Walls. The aspect that we talked about was proximity or space. This was broken up by anthropologist Edward Hall into the 4 categories we discussed. We talked about intimate distance, which was contact to 18 inches, personal distance, which was 1.5 to 4 feet. We also talked about social distance, which was 4 to 12 feet. And then last, we talked about the public distance, which was 12 feet to 25 feet. Again, all these distances can vary from person to person, from culture to culture, and from time to time. All this information used throughout this presentation came from Bridges Not Walls, page 118 to 120.